family. And one of the things I wanted to say was, we have on the wall a family tree, and that's all due to my brother and his request on his 75th birthday. Because our cousin Walter was a very interesting gentleman, born around the world, was very interested, especially since he had 4 or 5 wives, and he kept his family tree.
And 4 or 5 jumpsuits. You don't have to broadcast it.
He wanted to know who the other members of the family was. So he had this long yellow sheet of paper, and it was getting very clumsy because, thank God, the family was increasing. People were marrying, having children. So Arno said to me, listen, I'd like to have this electronically. So that's what I did. And I used a software called Roots Magic. And on the table over there where Harry is a laptop. So if there are any errors on this chart, they can go over to this laptop and make corrections.
Oh, good.
We can make ourselves younger?
But the picture in your attic will always be ages.
I like the way you.
I also
That was 2 hours ago.
a file that I call Penzias _ family. And in that, I have all kinds of documents, Ralph's biography, autobiography, pictures, documents, letters from Sophie, Israel's, my great-grandmother's letter to her sons. One of them, which was very interesting, she was looking to move in with one of them because she no longer wanted to look on the dear face of her husband. So we have a lot of interesting family history. One other thing that I discovered was that Simon had a sister who moved to New York in 1904. She was married to a gentleman named Philip Church. And I'm wondering here, we're sitting in 1944, how come Simon didn't contact his sister to get us over to the States? It turns out, unfortunately,
there was no contact with American families.
yeah, unfortunately, what happened was she had passed away in about 1911 or 12.
She had no children.
No, she had 2 children. She has a son and a daughter.
I didn't know that.
Actually, what's going to be required of me in terms of traveling and how slowly they're going to expect me to get out to sea. So I think that's waiting for a response.
Everybody waves. Nobody ever does anything else. You could do what you did on my bar mitzvah videos.
I can just have some salad
I just think I want a better understanding of what the job is about. Because I'm in a pretty great position and I've seen a good job that I think I can do it. So I'm enjoying it. Right. Careful with this one. I didn't know if you were pretty rotted.
I'm sorry.
Put your dress down. Oh no, the back of your dress down. Back is left to right. Well, you never remember what they said. Both ways.
All very much for making this such a special occasion. You know, my Uncle Jimmy's a great guy, and I'd like to introduce my father, and he might have a few words he'd like to say. Thank you.
Okay. I wrote this down not because I really had enough to say, but I have too much to say.
So this really is a special occasion. And I want to say a few words about Jim, or as Günther as I knew him as a child. I loved him. He was, honestly, my first friend. We wrestled together a year apart. We lived in Germany and Kristallnacht and a lot of other stuff. And I'm proud to be his brother. And I want to share with you his early history. In 1939, my brother and I were in person family. Parents had a place on a trade together. And we were, well, and it was some months later, we didn't know it, but that we knew that my mother would be getting out of Germany also in England. That's where we met. Remember the house we lived, I don't know how, there's a little less about it. I remember the houses we lived in, the places we were back, where we were evacuated at, the Blitz started and so forth. But in that 1939, we supported one another. Today, he has a wonderful wife and family. He has great children and grandchildren. Grandchild, Rebecca, and Sarah. And here we said new layers of a family. And it's all back together. Thank you very much. I just would like to have a toast from Jimmy. I don't think we have. Some of you have wine, the rest of you don't, I'm afraid.
It's all right.
No one has wine.
Oh, we have a bird.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Some things you don't quite know, remember, because you were very small. You and your mum were together in Newcastle.
That was later.
Yeah, before you came to America.
Yes.
Yeah. And you came through from there to
Right,
Europe.
he's right.
Yes.
With your dad.
Yes. Both my parents had managed to get to England and lead us.
Your
Because,
dad was in a camp in the south of England.
yes, which was named after Lord Kitchener.
Yeah, Kitchener's camp.
And Lord Kitchener, the hero of cartoons. There's a whole generation of Germans who were sure the name was Kitchen Camp, because that's where they ate.
Kitchen.
That's the old Kitchen camp. It's also sort to let them in there to tell them to go somewhere else after.
Yes,
Anyhow.
but they got them out, they let them come out.
Oh,
They
yes.
did not want to they were willing to take some who could go somewhere else, but they were certainly not.
Okay,
gonna let them.
anyway.
Never want to get. Okay, well, that's fine. We will talk afterwards, is that all right?
No, I want to take you forward.
I visited
Before the ship,
the French
your
farm.
dad made a special journey to see me. I was just in hospital, was the water, I've been operated on. I didn't know anybody, I didn't see anybody. In walks your dad. And he's come to see me, to see how. Then he goes, 2 days later, you've been out on a boat, and the boat had to come back again.
Right.
We had a collision with another
Yes,
boat.
right.
I knew that.
And he come to see me again. He was
Got anything to
he
do
was
with
a
that?
very good dad to you and both of you.
Believe me, yes, I certainly agree with that. No argument from either one of us.
All right, now I'd like to introduce my Aunt Ricky, who has a few words that she would like to say.
Oh. Go, Ricky.
We all make it.
Since I'm so much younger than Jim, I don't know any of that story. I wasn't around at that time. But I'll tell you a little bit about the guy that I married. He was very young when I met him. He was in his 20s. I was 18. I took one look at him, went home and said, that's the kind of a guy I want to marry. And my mother said, he's not right for you. So I had to marry him.
How'd that work out for you?
56 years ago, we were married. Okay. You all know about the family leaving Germany and all. When Jim came here, he was sent to the Central High School of Needle Trades because he was told that he would always have a profession. Thank God one of the teachers saw a little more than a tailor sitting here, and he put him on the academic track. And so Jim ended up going to become an engineer at the City College of New York. And after he spent 6 months in the Army, he went to get his master's degree in engineering at NYU. I was lucky enough to meet Jim one evening because I was home during the summer. I was supposed to be in counseling camp, and it turned out that I had appendicitis. So I was recuperating, and he happened to live on the same block and walked by, and he said to me, "I've looked at you in school for 2 years. I was pledging a sorority wearing a Robin Hood hat and a quiver of arrows." And he said, "I did notice you." So I said, "You know what?"
It was a fantasy.
He said, "I'd like to talk to you." And I said, "And I'd like to talk to you." And so here we are, 58 years later, talking. Yeah, have fun out of conversation. Nice. I just want to tell you what kind of a dad he has been to our kids. Every other father would come home from work and sit down and they were tired. He would sit on the floor with the kids. He would build with them hours and hours, Lego, Lincoln Logs, whatever they wanted. Every week he took them to the library. He picked out the books with them. They picked out what they wanted. Bedtime wasn't bedtime without being read to by Daddy. Alan went off to college, and at 1, 2 in the morning, phone would ring. I'd wake up and say, "Hello?" And, "Hi, Mom, is Dad awake?" "Sure." So they would discuss whatever needed to be discussed at that point. Jim never complained. When the kids were younger, Jim started a business in Connecticut. And we were ensconced in our lives in Roslyn. And the kids did not want to move. I wasn't thrilled with the idea. And he said, "You know, I'd rather let them be happy, and I'll do the drive." So he drove at least 3 hours or 4 hours a day, sometimes coming home at 12, 1 in the morning. But he didn't want to disturb his kids' lives. And I was really touched by that. He's been involved in our temple. He's been involved in the Village Zoning Board of Appeals. Where we live now, he not only plays golf, as you can see, he makes golf clubs just because he wants to. He's on the town center committee. He sort of runs the place. But that seems to be a Penzias trait, so I don't know. And all I can say is that I love you then, I love you now, I love you always.
All right, now I'd like to invite your grandkids to come up and give a rebuttal.
That's great.
Oh, Josh is not feeling well. Josh is not here.
We all know that my grandfather Jim is a very practical man. I remember when I was younger, my grandma and Papa often used to drive up to Newton to stay with us in our house. Every morning, Papa would measure out exactly how many milliliters of green tea he would drink for breakfast. Every evening, how many milliliters of red wine to drink for the optimal health benefits. And with all that liquid intake, he always planned to be prepared for the ultimate consequences. Therefore, he always made sure to remind us to follow Papa's rule. To always use the restroom before setting foot out of the house. So today, I have followed in his footsteps as an inspiring practical man myself, studying engineering, measuring out ingredients for my morning breakfast smoothie, and of course, never failing to remember Papa's rule before venturing out of the house. I'm very proud to be your grandson, and I'm happy to be able to celebrate your 80th birthday here with you and with all our family.
As an immigrant, Papa had very little growing up. Yet Papa worked very hard and became an engineer. He worked hard to support himself and his family. Papa, we are inspired by your diligence and your perseverance, and we are grateful that your hard work has allowed us to pursue our dreams as well.
Yeah, I'm really touched I'm so glad you could all come, and I'm so glad that we can share this wonderful day together, and hopefully many more happy occasions. As I said before, we have the family tree. People were adding information. What I will do is send you all email invitations to go onto Dropbox, and you can then come and I'll have files on there for you to share and download all the family history and documents that I've gathered. So take advantage of it, and I'd like to see the torch carried on with the younger generation also interested in geology. And the key thing is ask questions now, because unfortunately I got to this very late and couldn't ask any questions of my parents. So be sure to ask lots of questions of your parents and your grandparents, whoever you know now, and get that information to maintain your heritage. And I thank you.
Another turning point, a force up in the